We're here at the Pebble Beach Lodge with two legends. Club 19, one of the watering holes, but a whole lot of history, and Dan Jenkins, the Dean of Golf Writers. Dan, 57 U.S. Opens, including all 5 at Pebble Beach, but you go back before Opens were played at Pebble Beach to the old Crosby tournament here, and you've had a lot of cheeseburgers in that chair.
What did I count? 64, 70, 74,
I think we got into the mid-70s with the cheeseburgers, yeah.
I tended to rely on character and conditioning to see me through it all.
Dan, it's so different now than it was when you first started coming here. Everything's gotten bigger. It was a whole lot more of an intimate atmosphere back then, wasn't it?
That's why I live in the past. Always. Yeah, it was much, much easier. There were still a lot of people out on the golf course, but access was everything. And it was easier to park, easier to, get credentials, easier to do everything, and certainly easier to talk to the players and hang out with them.
Well, you were the mayor of Club 19 and spent a lot of time in that chair. When you're sitting there, who would you run into here?
My good friend Dave Marr would drop by and stay 4 or 5 hours. And every celebrity in the Crosby, I was here in this chair through 16 Crosbys, and I had a lot of James Garners and a lot of Jack Lemmons and a lot of George C. Scotts wandering through the room, and it was kind of fun. It was dazzling. It was glitzy. It was Hollywood, and one of my favorite moments was one night Garner had been upstairs to dinner or something, and he'd come back in here, and he'd always say to me, "Why am I not surprised to see you still sitting here?" And I said, "Well, I'm waiting for Lana Turner." And that's what we used to call it. I'm going to go to Club 19 and wait for Lana Turner. When I said that, he said, "That's mine now. That's going to be my line." Lemon was great. Lemon was terrific. Everybody loved him. He was fun on the golf course. And I think really this room and this chair and being here at the Crosby is where it was, which we called it the Crosby in those days. I think it's where it was invented that there's nothing more boring than a golf tournament in the daytime.
And so these great moments would happen at nighttime. Now, these people were people who had achieved an enormous amount in the areas that they were in, celebrities, actors. What was their connection to golf? I mean, how did they feel? What do you think drew them to the game?
I don't know. I think it was just the fun and the camaraderie of it all, and they didn't mind, since they were performers, they didn't mind going out there and making a fool of themselves. I did mind it because I used to fancy myself as a decent player when I was younger, and I was invited to play in the Crosby numerous times. I'm the only guy that ever turned it down. I had one of my badge of honors. Dave Marr used to want me to play. Ben Crenshaw asked me 3 times to play with him. Even Catherine Crosby asked me to come and play one year. And I said, no, I don't like ice plant that much. I don't like being in the rough that much. I don't want to get up at 6 a.m., put on 8 sweaters and 2 rain suits and make a fool of myself. I would rather be in Club 19. And, I'll see you there.
And let's talk about this as a golf course. It's had so many great events here. And which ones stand out for you?
I think the one that stands out the most is 1972, the Open. It's the first time the Open had been played here. The right guy won it, Jack Nicklaus. It was a great leaderboard most of the way. Arnold was up there. Trevino was up there. It took 290 to win it. The wind blew like crazy. And it introduced Pebble as a place that should hold Opens as often as possible. And like I said, it meant so much for Jack to win it. 82, you had Watson and Nicklaus coming down the stretch. That wasn't bad. 92, you had Tom Kite, who was a good grinding player who got everything out of himself. You could have had some funny winners. There was a very funny leaderboard for 3 days that year. A bunch of Gilboyans and Colin Montgomery and that kind of thing. But a good guy won it. And then you had Tiger lapping the field in 2000. So it has held up. It's the one open course so far that's yet to have an embarrassment, yet to have an inconvenience, let's say. It hasn't had the press hasn't had the inconvenience of a Jack Fleck or a Sam Parks Jr. or Steve Jones or something like that. They've all been quality winners here.
Is that luck or is that the golf course?
I don't know. I think it's got something to do with the golf course. I really do. I hope it does. I don't know why in the world a great course like Oakmont or Oakland Hills would produce a funny winner, but it has. They have. And I suppose that's just the charm of the game, I suppose. It's okay if it happens every 50 years. I'm happy with that. Yeah. But when it happens too often, it's inconvenient for the people on deadline.